Get ready with me while I tell you the story of how my ex of 7 years cheated on me. I have a lot of new faces on here, so I thought I would share this story with you guys. Now I can sit here and laugh about it, and my life has completely changed ever since. I have officially made it to 3 years single. Let's talk about how I got here. For some context, I was in a relationship with my high school sweetheart. We started dating when we were sophomores in high school. We were very much babies and we were kids at the end of the day. No relationship is perfect. Ours definitely wasn't all rainbows and sunshines. We had many moments where I think both of us should have stepped away, but it is so much easier said than done. Where do we even begin? I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was the week before Valentine's Day. We were sitting in my room, this very room right here, watching the new season of You. Out of nowhere, I get an Instagram message from an old friend of mine. She DMs me and just asks me, hey, are you and, we'll call him Alex, are you and Alex still together? ? And I think as a woman, you just know, like, you know when it's like the hey girl text. And literally, I remember the feeling. I felt like my stomach literally fell to my ass, and I just knew. I knew that what she was about to tell me was not about to be good. And I answered and I said, yeah, why? What's up? She's like, I'm so sorry, but I found your boyfriend on Hinge. Remember, I was so confused because I had no business being on a dating app, so I didn't know anything about dating apps. And she had told me the name of the dating app, but that's how oblivious I was. I was like, what is that? So then she proceeds to tell me it's like a dating app that is like Instagram. So she's talking about Hinge. She sends me his profile, and yeah, nonetheless, it's fucking him. It's him. Everything is up to date. What he was doing at the time as his work, whatever, like the bio, it was all up to date. So that's how I knew, which doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter if it was then, if it was 2 months ago, if it was 2 years ago, like either way, you got caught up, honey. I'm just in disbelief. And I remember I took a second to just really process everything. And then he noticed that something was wrong with me. I remember I was just so mad. Like, I wasn't even like sad. I was just infuriated. He brings up Valentine's Day and he's like, I'm so excited for Valentine's Day next week. I told him, I don't know about Valentine's Day next week. He then said, what? Like, why? I then respond by saying, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I said because I was pissed. I said, why is some bitch telling me that you are on dating apps? I was pissed. No offense to the girl. She's not a bitch at all. Shout out my girl. If you know, you know, girl. So I said that and he right away denies it. He's like, no, like, I've never been on dating apps. I don't know what you're talking about. This, and that. I then look at him and I tell him, you know what, Alex, it's over. We're done. It's time. Like, the least that you can do right now is just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. Like I said, in that moment when I finally broke up with him, I just felt like there had been so many other things that had happened leading up to this point, and I was mentally checked out. So I was ready. Once I found that out, I was like, okay, like, there's no more chances to be given. This is it. Then it tells me that he has been on one dating app and that it was a long time ago. When I brought up the dating app to him, I did not tell him what the dating app was called because we as women are just so fucking smart. Let me just tell you that. I just wanted to see if he would tell me the dating app that the girl sent me. Remember, the dating app was Hinge. I then asked him, okay, what dating app was it? 9 times out of 10, if a girl is asking you a question, she already knows the fucking answer, so just tell the truth. He then answers and he says Tinder. He got caught up. Multiple dating apps. He was on multiple dating apps at this point. So then I'm even more fucking pissed. I tell him, what the fuck? I show him the picture of the dating app that the girl sent me, and I said I was talking about Hinge. And then I told him, I was like, so you were on multiple dating apps? And in that conversation, he just swore up and down that nothing ever came from it. And like I said earlier, I was so done at this point. He had done multiple things in the past to ruin trust, and I had given him chance after chance after chance. And so for me, like, it wasn't even the act of him physically being with another person, which to this day I don't know, but it was just the fact that he betrayed me like that. He betrayed my trust. He made me look dumb. Like, I had a friend asking me if I was still together with this guy. Like, that's so embarrassing. And he's over here on dating apps. So it didn't matter to me when he was using the dating app, if he met anybody on a dating app. It didn't matter. It was just the fact that he cheated, you know? And after that, I respectfully told him that I never wanted to see him again and that I never wanted to speak to him again. And I have gone complete no contact from that man who was in my life for 7 years. I chose to go no contact with this person because I knew that with the history that we had, if I spoke to him ever after that point, that it would just be so much harder for me to completely detach myself. This was somebody I grew up with. This was somebody who I was a child with, then grew into an adult with. And it was something so difficult to walk away from, but yet so powerful. As a woman, I think sometimes we feel like we have to stay and we have no choice but to just work things out. And everybody's situation is completely different. In that moment, I knew that it was time for me to walk away, and that if I didn't walk away, that my life was just gonna not turn out the way that I wanted it to turn out. So I chose to walk away. And I have not been happier since. If you want to hear a little bit more about what life has been like since, then go to part 2. My ex of 7 years was cheating on me, and this is what life has been like since. After finding that out and choosing to walk away, I will say the first year was probably one of the hardest years. Up until that point was probably one of the hardest years of my life. I was navigating this new version of myself, which was just me as an individual. And I feel like up until that point, my identity wasn't just Fabi, it was Fabi and this person. Changing that identity for myself was honestly such a challenge. I was cooped up with my best friend every single week, sometimes like multiple days at a time. I was sleeping over because I couldn't be alone. I literally couldn't be alone. It was the hardest thing for me to learn, but the most important thing that I have learned since. I have become such an independent woman to the point where now my peace is so much more important to me than somebody who is not going to be worth my time. And I think as a woman, to be able to see your value and to hold yourself to such a high standard, it is such a flex and such a powerful move, because respectfully, the ball is in our court, ladies. Like, if we want a man, we are the ones that have to say yes to it. A man can do all he can to win you over, but if you're not gonna give, it's not gonna work out. And I'm not talking about something romantic. I'm not talking about pleasure. I'm just saying in general, like, if you're not in it, then it's not gonna work. So as a woman, having that power and knowing that you hold that power is so powerful, which is why I think I have chosen to be single for so long, because I've talked to people here and there and I just couldn't commit because I knew that they had certain flaws that I just wasn't ready to accept, and certain things that they needed to work on themselves. And I am in no place to help build somebody right now. If there are certain things that I feel like a man should have already figured out, then that's on you. You know, as far as building in a relationship, of course, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I would hope somebody gives me grace as well. But that's a whole video for a separate time. I think it's just so important that as a single woman in my mid-20s, I've been able to kind of just not get wooed right away. Like, it takes a lot more for me to be convinced. I have gotten to go on different dates with different kinds of men. I've gotten to put myself in different scenarios when it comes to being single. And I think the one thing that I've learned so far is that I am just not ready. I'm not ready to be in a relationship right now because I'm just enjoying my time with myself. And I think my time with myself is so selfish right now that it would take a lot for me to be able to put that wall down and allow somebody in. I would be lying to you if I said that I'm not terrified still to start something again with somebody. I am a very slow burner when talking to somebody romantically. I don't just let my wall down right away. It takes a lot of time. And I think a lot of men just don't want to make the time to do that. And that's okay, because those people are just not my person. And I think that's definitely something that I've had to just realize and understand, that when the time is right, the time is right. So if you are single right now and you feel like no one is out there for you, just know you are not alone. And for some reason, it is not in God's plan yet, and he's out there, or she, whoever, they are out there, and when the time is right, it's gonna all fall into place. But up until that point, I think it's important to just work on yourself, make yourself the best version of yourself, make sure you love yourself, and just keep doing you, baby.
Get ready with me while I tell you about the time my mom kicked me out of the house in high school. So I think I was in junior year, and I was already having like so many problems in school. I was a little bad bitch, like physically and like for real. So it was in life skills class, they gave us like the little dummy baby doll things, and they gave it to us on a Friday. And as soon as I got my baby and I came home, I went straight to my friend's house with the baby, though, because like it would like cry and shit. And she had a little sister, and her little sister like grabs the baby and she fucking drops it on its head, and that shit like makes some weird ass like robotic noise, like it's like crying, but like a weird cry. That noise I just made. And I don't know, I thought it was just like, I don't even know what the fuck I thought. I was like, oh, it should be fine. But like for the rest of the day, the babies made like some weird ass cries, like it didn't sound normal. And so I'm like, fuck, her little sister fucked up the baby, like she broke it. And so the weekend passes. I don't even take care of that baby because it literally, like, I think it's broken. So Monday rolls around and I am like too scared to bring like the baby back because I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble or something, or I'm gonna get a bad grade because I didn't complete the assignment, because I literally just left the baby in my room and just did what the fuck ever I wanted to do. And so I didn't come back on Monday. I didn't go the whole entire week to school. And by the end of the week, they like, I guess they needed to give it to like the next group of people, like the babies. We needed to turn them in because we only had like 5 of them. And so the other group of people needed the baby to complete the assignment. Everybody always asks me what color corrector I use. I literally use LA Colors. It's from the Dollar Tree. I haven't seen it there like recently. I've only seen like the green and the yellow one, but I use the peach one and it's fucking amazing. I'm like severely hungover. I went out with my homegirl last night and I didn't get home until like 3 a.m. and I have to be at work at 11. And them bitches try to fuck. I know this is like not part of the story. Them bitches try to call me in to come in at 10. I was supposed to go in at 11. A whole hour early. But the thing is, I'm already going to be there all fucking day. I'm sorry. I'm like really still fucking pissed at the audacity of these people that asked me to come in early. I'm going to be there from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. with only 1 hour break. Hell no. I'm actually going to take a 2-hour break. I have like a meeting. I have a Zoom meeting with my bridal company that I work for. So I'm like, I'm already going to fucking be there like so long and you're going to ask me to come in early? Like, that's fucking ridiculous. I'm about to quit this fucking hosting job. I don't even give a shit about this fucking job. I have 4 jobs right now. Whew, I need to go on a rant. I'm just going to go on a little rant. Yeah, I literally have fucking 4 jobs right now. I work at Mac. I work at a beauty bar. I work for a bridal company. And I have this fucking hosting job, which fuck them. I was trying to be nice and everything, but like the manager is having problems with me, like in my schedule and everything. I'm like, do you really think I give a fuck about this hosting job? Because I don't. I really don't. Like, bitch, like this might be your career, but it's not mine, okay? And you need to get over it. I know I just started working here, but I applied for all these jobs and I got like all of them, and now I bit off more than I can chew. And this fucking hosting job is at the bottom of my priority list, okay? So get a grip. It's really early and I'm really hungover. I think I'm actually like still lit right now, so bringing out the doubleware. It's gonna be a long fucking day. Anywho, let me go back to the story. Okay, so yeah, I don't go to school the whole fucking week, and my phone number, like my contact, oh, there's foundation everywhere, is actually under my sister's name, for the school to contact. And my sister is a little snitch. She's a little goody two-shoes. Like, we went to 2 different schools. She went to this more like white, predominantly white school, and I went to West, which had like a good mix of like everybody, just because we had different friends groups. So she like really didn't know what I had going on in school, but whenever like I had an absence or whatever, they would call her number and she would tell my mom, because she was a straight A student, like in all of the academically gifted classes. And then there's me. I was just running around being a bad bitch, skipping school. Literally, I was terrible in high school. And so they called and they said, hey, we just want to inform you that your daughter has not been here all week. And we had an assignment with like the dummy baby thing. And we just want to know if she's okay and if she can at least just bring back the baby, because we need to give it to the next group of people. So when my sister got that message, she was like, you haven't been to school all week? And I was like, no, I was like, I lied. I was like, no, I've been to school. I just haven't been going to that specific class, blah, blah, blah. And like that, I thought that was that. But no, I guess after I had fallen asleep, she told my mom that I had not been going to school all week. And I didn't know that she told my mom that. And so my mom wakes up at like 4 a.m. to go to 4 or 5 a.m. to go to work. And she wakes me up in the middle of the night at like 4 fucking a.m. She's trigger warning, okay? She grabs me by my hair, like rips me out of bed, like drags me down the stairs. We had a 2-story house. Drags me down the stairs, still by my hair, and just throws me out of the house. And this is back when I used to wear glasses, and I needed my glasses. I had like negative 575 vision, if you know what that is. Like there's 20/20 and then there's like negative, and I was like negative 575. So my vision was bad as fuck. And I couldn't even grab anything. I left my phone under the pillow, couldn't grab my glasses, and I literally had one sock on, because I guess when I was sleeping, like one of my socks fell off, and that's how I was thrown out of the house, like in that condition. And I'm fucking confused, but the only words that she said to me is, if you don't go to school, you don't live here. I was like, let me collect myself, okay? What the fuck is going on? And I would have just called somebody, but I didn't have time to grab my phone. I didn't have time to grab anything. And I'm sure none of my friends in the neighborhood would have been awake, because it's fucking 4 a.m. And we, like, I don't even know where to fucking go, but we had a like a pool house in our neighborhood. It was like an abandoned. That's so funny. That was actually my mom calling me. I just ranted to her too about my fucking meltdown. Yes, baby, my doggy needs my attention. Hold on. This is my lovely boy Prince, Mr. Baby. This is my baby boy. So yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I go to the pool house because like that's the only thing. Hold on, babe, I can't do this. That's the only place I know where to go. It's fucking cold. It's October. So I go. Why is it always October when I have these stories? Yeah, it's October. And it's free. I'm freezing. Thankfully, I fall asleep wearing like a Patagonia jacket. So at least I have some sort of like warmth. People always ask me what my blush is too. I'm using Lucky, the color Lucky from Rare Beauty. It's like a really hot pink. So I'm going to mix it with like a little bit of white to kind of get like that baby pink color. This brush is fucking tough as a brick. What the fuck? So I break into the pool house because it's like locked, and that shit was like abandoned. Like it used to be like popping like back in the day, but like after the years passed, like it just went to shit. So all the windows were broken. There's like graffiti in the walls when I get in there. It looks scary as fuck. It's like a big 2-level pool house, and it literally looks like a haunted mansion. So yeah, I get in there and hold on, I need to go to part two. Part two of when my mom kicks me out of the house in high school. So yeah, so I break into this abandoned pool house. And I'm trying to find somewhere to like lay down. Mind you, like I said, it's 4 a.m. and I have like nowhere to go because none of my friends are like answering me. Actually, no, I don't have a phone because I left everything. I left all my shit at the house because she just literally abruptly woke me up in the morning. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So yeah, so I found this like little nasty ass couch to lay on, and I get on the couch. I get on the couch. I like I only had that one sock on. So I like go like this with my foot. I was wearing leggings. Hold on. I go like this with my foot, and then I just like tie it with one of my hair ties so one of my feet can be warm, and I just had the sock on the other foot. I'm like in fetal position on this nasty ass couch. Like if the lights were on, oh my god. Yeah, when I woke up, like it was like dawn or whatever. Not dawn. What the fuck? It was like, I don't even know what time it could have been. It could have been 8 a.m. or something. And I went to the second story of the house to try to like see if my family was still home. And I look and my stepdad was still there. So I was like, fuck. Okay, so then I went back to sleep. And then I woke up again at like, I have no idea what time it was. And I see that my sister's car is just there. And the fucking snitch, my snitch sister. I see that my sister is still there, and I'm like, let me just go in there. I'm fucking hungry. Like I can't see. I need glasses. I need my phone, because nobody knows I left that phone underneath the pillow. And so I walk up to the house barefoot. I walk up to the house and I open the door, and my sister's like there. She's like getting ready to leave for school. She's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I live here. And she was like, no, you don't. You got kicked out. I was like, yeah, because of you. You snitched on me. She was like, why were you not going to school? I was like, I don't know, but why can't you just be a cool sister? Like, why do you have to snitch? She was like, because she's like, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You need to get your life together, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, girl, you are 18 years old. Do you have your life together? And I was like, okay, well, can I at least like make myself some breakfast, grab some clothes, take a shower? She was like, hurry up. I'm like, okay. So I go to the kitchen and I unlock one of the windows by the kitchen so I can come back later. And I just grab like a rice cake and I grab some fucking shoes and I change and I'm like, bye. Like just so pitiful. And she's like, bye. And so I leave. I leave. I go back to the pool house and I wait like 30 minutes or so, and I see that she's gone. So I go back to the house, and hold on. I go back to the house, and going in through that window. I'm such a fucking smart. I'm so smart. Like, who would have thought? And I was like, yeah, I need to get back in this house, because I know she locked the door. She locked the door. Like, she did not want me to be in the house. Like, she was such a good at two shoes. Like, the favorite child, whatever, whatever. So yeah, she locked the door behind herself. And I wasn't until I couldn't get in there. So I went in through the window, made myself some fucking food. I grabbed like 3 trash bags. I'm like fully committed to my new life as a homeless child. LOL. So I grab as much clothes and shoes and everything as I can take. And then I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, actually, never mind. Like, let me just grab what I need. I grabbed like 1 duffel bag. And I was like, I'm just going to use the window to go in and out whenever my mom is at work and my sister's at school. So I don't have to like walk around the neighborhood with all my fucking clothes, like with like, you know. So yeah, so I called my friend. I'm like, girl, this is what fucking happened to me. She was like, oh my God, that's so fucking crazy. My friend was like 19 at the time. So she like let me come to her house. She didn't have to go to school or anything. I go to her house, I let her know what's going on, and so I just stay with her for the day. We go and get like drinks. So we have somebody buy us some drinks. I'm like, yeah, like this is lit. Yeah, it was about to be there was gonna be a Halloween party that night, so I was lit. Because I already knew my mama was not gonna let me go to that anyway, so I was excited about being kicked out, because I'm like, now I can go to this Halloween party and do whatever the fuck I want. So yeah, we get lit as hell. But the thing is, I couldn't like stay at her house because her mom knew my mom, and hold on, let me grab some shit. And she didn't like want like any issues or anything like that, which is like, I guess, understandable. So I had to actually sleep at, there was a cat lady at her house. And not only was she a cat lady, she was a hoarder cat lady. And her house smelled like fucking cat piss. Like, it was gross. Like, her house was like one of the houses in Hoarders. And I was like, dude, is something gonna fucking bite me in here? But thankfully, she had like an empty bedroom that was completely empty. It was completely unused and like clean, and there was no junk in it. She was like, you can sleep here, honey. And I told her about my whole thing. She was like super fucking cool though, but her house is just disgusting. We used to just hang out on her porch. We didn't, like how we knew her. We used to, I don't know why I do this head thing. I like to like lift and do this. This is coming out cute. It's Valentine's Day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to fucking work. Oh my God. This is like pathetic. But yeah, let me like, I keep getting off track. I think it's the damn coffee. So yeah, I sleep in the, no, I don't sleep there actually. So I'm laying down and I'm on my phone. I'm on Kik. Oh my God. I'm on Kik and I'm messaging my ex. This is the ex that I talked about in the previous story. We lived in the same neighborhood and I was like in love with that boy. Okay. This is like when we were like, we weren't talking, but everybody knew that I had a huge crush on him and he even knew it. So I was like talking to him and I was like telling him about everything. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm over here at the cat lady's house. Like, it's so gross in here, blah, 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 blah. He was like, damn, that sucks. And I was like, yeah, for real. I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm not shit. I'm just at the house. I was like, oh, like, do you want to hang out? I'm so crazy. And he was like, fuck it, come on. I was like, not me about to hang out. What the fuck is on my upper lip, y'all? Not me about to hang out with my motherfucking crush. That's so crazy. He liked me too, but he like always like played hard to get. It was so annoying. And we were like, when we got together, we were like the it couple because I was the bad bitch. And he was like grown. He drove a Mercedes. He was fine. I told you, he was white and Egyptian. He was fine. He had like these beautiful green eyes. Like, and he was like a thug, like, oh my God. And that's around the time where that song Trap Queen came out. I wanted to be a trap queen so fucking bad, dude. Oh Lord. So yeah. I leave Marilyn's house. He lets me, oh my God, I need to hurry because there's only 2 minutes left. We go to like somewhere, we go smoke, we go hang out with his friends, we come back. Yeah, that happened when I was crazy because I had like the biggest crush on him, and so yeah, that happened. I wake up and he's like, I gotta go make some plays, blah 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 blah, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I was so eager to tell my homegirl what happened. I told her, and literally the news spread like wildfire throughout the neighborhood because like it's a small neighborhood and we all fucking know each other and we all talk to each other. He comes back. I hang out with him again. I'm making plays with him now. Like just riding around with him. And then like my mom, she calls me like after it's already been like a couple of days. She calls me and she's ready for me to come home. Like she misses me. She's like, Mija, come home. Let's talk. Like I want to see you today. And I'm like, whoa, like low key, I'm lit. I'm living. Like I'm fully committed to staying outside, even though I know I couldn't stay with him all the time, and did not want to keep sleeping at that old cat lady's house. Actually, no, I think as soon as he let me start staying with him, I did end up staying with him like every night. I guess for like 3 or 4 days. I think it was only 3 days. But yeah, I really didn't want to go back home, especially because like, me and this guy are basically not started dating, but like, you know, we've been spending a lot of time together. But yeah, I did end up going home after that. I mean, I did miss my mom too, and I wanted to like just get back into my house and sleep in my own bed and everything like that. And I feel like I was being a burden on everybody, just like couch hopping literally. So, but yeah, my mom let me back in. I went to school. Everything went back to normal. But that was a crazy 3 days. But yeah, that's how I got kicked out in high school.
I think that finally enough time has passed for me to share this crazy story about a date I went on with TikTok. So a few months ago, I matched with this guy on Hinge. He's pretty cute. We're talking on Hinge for like a bit. He's really artsy, so I was into that. And he asked for my number. And he starts texting me literally so much. I don't even have his number saved. I don't really care. Like, it was just a lot. Not only was he texting me a lot, he was asking me to hang out every day, and I just had an excuse after excuse. Sorry, I have work. Sorry, I have rehearsal. Sorry, I'm out of town. Lie. It got to the point where I just kind of stopped answering, and he sent me like a decent-sized paragraph, and he was like, I don't want to be disrespectful or be too much, but I honestly think we'd get along great. Like, let's hang out. And I was like, you know what? Sure. Next time I'm free, let's hang out. I appreciated the message, honestly. Then we start texting a bit more leading up, and honestly, I'm like, wait, like, we're having amazing conversations. We like the same things. We're giving each other amazing recommendations. Like, it was like, okay, period, we'll get along. So we make plans. He plans this whole date, and he tells me to watch the movie About Time before I go on this date, and I haven't seen it. So I watched the movie, and it actually destroys me. Shout out to him, though, because it's one of my favorite movies now. So then it's time to go on our date, and I go right from work. I'm not really feeling nervous, but I'm like, all right, it'll be chill. So the first thing that goes wrong is I actually show up 35 to 40 minutes late. If I was him, I would have went home already. But alas, he's waiting for me when I get there. We were at like this art exhibit thing. We meet, he's cute, it's great. We're walking around, getting to know each other, talking. And we're vibing, honestly. Like, it was nice, it was fun. Great. We finish our walk around the museum, and he's like, let's go grab a bite to eat. And I was like, of course, let's go grab a bite to eat. We go to this restaurant. We're having a great time. We order food. We order a bottle of wine. We're going through the wine. I'm getting a little tipsy. We're having amazing conversations. Like, we're talking about, like, our families, our parents, what our parents did for work, how much we love our parents. And I'm rocking with this. And I'm getting a little more drunk. I start unbuttoning my blouse, showing a little cleavage. Like, I'm ready. Finish up dinner. We walk outside, and he's like, well, do you want to come back to my place? Like, we can stop and get another drink on the way. Like, whatever you're comfortable with. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, let's go to your place. And of course, he lives in Brooklyn because what's wrong with me? So we have to take the train to Brooklyn, which is kind of a minute from where we were. We're on the train, we're having fun on the train, and at this point on the train, I'm feeling pretty drunk, honestly. Again, we're talking about whatever, we're having a good time, and then he mentions to me that he lives with 2 people, and one of them isn't there because he is at home because his mother passed away. Me being myself and talking, I'm like, oh my god, like, that's horrible, that is so awful, I am so sorry for your roommate, like, seriously, if that was me, like, I would die, yada yada yada. I start going off.
And he's laughing and he's like, no, it's okay. It is sad, but you know, he'll be okay. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, I have a really weird thing about death. Like, I go to therapy every week to talk about death. Like, I always have dreams that my family's gonna die. Like, literally, if my parents died, I would have offed myself. Like, I was not shutting the fuck up. I swear to God, I had to have been talking for at least 3 to 5 minutes. I was like, you don't understand. You don't understand. He was like, no, I do. And I was like, literally, you don't. Nobody fucking understands my thing with death. You don't understand. So he cuts me off and he says, hey, I just want to let you know, like, you'll be okay if that happens. And I was like, no, you don't understand. He's like, well, actually, I really do understand because my dad is dead. So I go silent. My lips are sealed. I was silenced. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm such an asshole. Like, holy shit, I should not have been talking like that. I'm so sorry. And he's honestly being pretty chill. He's like, no, don't worry. Like, you didn't know. Like, no worries. And I'm just, like, feeling like scum. I'm feeling like an asshole. But literally, how would I have known? Because we were talking about our parents. He just had me also watch this movie About Time, which is why I mentioned that, because it's about, like, death, and there's this whole thing. Why are you fucking telling me to watch that shit? But anyways, he seems to be fine with, like, what happens. We get off the train. We're, like, going to buy more bottles of wine. We go to his apartment. We're whining. We're on the rooftop looking at the skyline. It's great. Okay, the night goes on. We have our fun, right? We have our fun. So like I said, I came from work. So I was like, hey, like, can I borrow a t-shirt? Of course you can. He grabs me a t-shirt and it has the Avalanche logo, like the NHL team. And I was like, oh my God, why do you have this shirt? Like, you're not from where they play. Like, do you like that? And he's like, they're just like my dad's favorite team, like, you know. So he gives me this shirt, maybe his dad's shirt, and I'm just wearing it. So I'm in this shirt, we're laying down, we're talking, and I don't know fucking why, but I brought up football for some fucking reason, and we're talking about sports and football teams, and now he's telling me all these stories about him and his dad, like, growing up, playing football, watching football. And obviously I'm upset, and I have tears, like, forming in my eyes, and he, like, is, like, consoling me about his dad. So I get up the next morning, I'm getting ready to leave. I can't find my undergarments, so they're somewhere with him. And needless to say, we did not talk again after this. I did delete our chat. I don't have his number saved. I hope he's doing really well, and I think about his dad every day. Moral of the story is, don't talk about people being dead if you don't know the person's family. Thanks, guys.
This is the long-awaited story time on how my ex-boyfriend ghosted me 2 days ago on Valentine's Day. So he had this weird thing where he just would not talk about his dad. Like, every time I would mention him, he'd be, like, making up excuses, like, oh, like, I don't know his name. And he just wouldn't tell me his name. That just tells me that he just doesn't want to talk about his dad when he lives with his dad. So I finally found his dad on Facebook. He looks like the sweetest person ever. This was actually the night before Valentine's Day. So I'm in my room and I'm talking to my mom, and he texts me. He's like, hey, do you want to call? I'm like, yeah, just give me a minute because I'm talking to my mom. He's like, okay. So maybe like 10 minutes pass by and I'm like, hey, do you want to call now? No answer. So I end up calling him, and I call him like 5 times, I'm not even joking, in the span of an hour. Me and my parents have a show we watch together, so we decided to go watch that show. And there was an ad break, so I got on my phone. He had reposted a basketball edit while I'm on delivered. We get done with our show, it's about 12:30, and he texts me, and he's like, sorry, I wasn't feeling good. Mind you, okay, Valentine's Day was on Saturday. I called him on Thursday, and he was like, I'm not really feeling good. And my mom asked him, are you going to come over on Saturday? And he was like, I don't really feel good. Like, I don't think I'll feel good on Saturday either. It's Friday. And I'm like, in the morning, hey, are you, like, feeling better? And he's like, no, my shoulder hurts. Anyways, back to the night before Valentine's Day. He told me he wasn't feeling good and he fell asleep. Obviously, that's not true because you're watching basketball edits the whole time I was on delivered. I was on delivered for like an hour and 30. I wake up in the morning and it's Valentine's Day. And I woke up, I don't really know what time, maybe like 12. And there's no text from him, like he was online an hour ago from that point. I was super confused. It's about 3:30 p.m., still nothing. At 4 o'clock, he wakes up. He texts me good morning. I was like, GM, because I don't want to, like, not be dry. He says, "Are you mad at me? Because if you are, I'm sorry." I go, "Yes, I am mad at you. You haven't even texted me from last night until now. You asked me to call, and then I said yes. Then I said I found your dad, and he looked so sweet. Also, I didn't mention that. I did say I found your dad, and he looked so sweet after he asked to call the night before Valentine's Day. And he left me unopened and ignored me while I was on delivered. You reposted a basketball edit. I called about 5 times in the span of an hour. You haven't told me Happy Valentine's Day at all today, and I've been crying about this whole day, from the moment you left me undelivered, it opened, till now. I also feel like you're lying about not feeling well, because when I ask you if you're feeling better, it's something different each time. My stomach hurts, my shoulder hurts, or I just threw up. It actually hurts my feelings, and I don't know why you leave me undelivered for so long lately, especially on Valentine's Day." He's like, "I just woke up. That's why you've been undelivered. And I started to fall asleep yesterday. I has a message typed out, but I didn't click send. I'm so sorry I left you undelivered and opened." I said, "Well, it just hurts my feelings, but thank you for telling me you're sorry." "You're welcome. I love you." I posted a story of my squishies. He said, "Dang, that's a lot." And he asked me how I slept. So I was like, I slept good. Like, I don't really want to talk to you. "Are you still mad?" Sort of. I accidentally logged into his account because I meant to log into my alt. So I told him that. He's like, "It's okay." And he said, "Why am I still mad?" I said, "I feel like you're putting in zero effort. I feel like I'm the only one trying. I feel like I don't even matter to you anymore. All you do is leave me undelivered. After I told you how I felt yesterday, and we had that short conversation, from that point, you didn't even tell me Happy Valentine's Day. You didn't even text me the whole day." Okay, mind you, whole day. After that short conversation we had on the 14th, nothing the rest of the day. I was undelivered the rest of the day. You could have asked to call me, or you could have done something nice since it's Valentine's Day. Since you couldn't come over because you were sick, yes. I did my streaks at 10 p.m. and you left me undelivered. I know you were active too, because he literally said he was active. I woke up this morning and you had been active 2 hours ago. When my friends ask you about getting me something for Valentine's Day, you either leave them on open, delivered, or half swipe them. That's true. So it makes me feel like you didn't get me anything at all. I'd understand if you didn't have a lot of money, but you did tell me you spent tons and tons of money on baseball cards. So obviously you did. I spent so much time, so much thought, and so much money on your gift, and I feel super unwanted. I'm sorry, I know that you feel that like that, but it just... I'm sorry, I know you feel that. It's just that I haven't really had the motivation to do anything recently. I said motivation to do what exactly? To, like, get on my phone and stuff. Like, I will check every few hours and stuff. But that's it. Okay. And I'm sorry I haven't been trying and leaving you delivered. I said, "It's whatever, but can you explain the gift part?" He said it was annoying they kept asking me, and that's why I ignored them. Mind you, only 2 people asked him about it. Then that was the time I said, "I want to break up." He goes, "Okay." I'm like, "Bye." And he says, "Bye." But to back up that one part where I talked about the gift, a few weeks before Valentine's Day, he knows I've been wanting this weighted stuffed animal from Target, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I saw that today. I could have gotten it, but I spent all my money on baseball cards." This man, actually, he's not even a man, he's a 4-year-old boy, literally spends hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on baseball cards. He is so selfish. Mind you, I got him everything I showed in this video, and I don't know why I even tried. He still has my initial in his bio. But I just want to let you guys know, I don't want you to take any crap from your significant other. I said this in the last video. I literally don't ever want to go through that ever again. It's a really bad feeling when you try in a relationship and it doesn't work out, because basically it's a one-sided relationship and you or the other person are the only one trying. It's best to run away from that. But that is it, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know if you want me to cover anything else in this situation.
Alright, y'all, we're gonna give a story time about my crazy mother-in-law. Freedom of speech, because everybody wants to know. So, I've written a few things down so I'll remember, and I'm just going to try to go through it fast. It might be part 1, part 2. I don't know. Alright. So, I got with this boy, and we been together maybe not even a week. We go downtown in Capital City, and he gets a phone call, and I'm like, who's calling you? He's like, my mom. So we go step outside, and his mom is like going off on the phone, and he's like, what? Like, he's acting confused. So then he has the phone to me, and she's like, let me talk to that. So she's on speaker, and she's like going off on me like, you will never be his ex-girlfriend, you will never compete, you know, you are never going to be blah blah blah. And I'm like, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. Like, I literally keep saying yes ma'am because I see a future with this man. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect his mother. So she's going off on me, and mind you, I've never met this lady, I've never talked to this lady, I don't even know her name right now. Like, I don't. So we're like, okay, the night's ruined. So we go to the truck, and then his mom keeps calling back and forth, like hanging up, calling. And she's like, I'm turning your truck insurance off, I'm turning your phone off, come get yours out of my house, or I'm burning it tonight. Boom. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I got myself into? So anyways, we're like, okay, well, you're moving in. So he moves in with me. And we get home that night, and I go inside, I change my clothes, and I come back out in the truck. He's sitting in the truck still talking to his dad on the phone about, like, the situation. So I come outside and check on him, and he's like, who's that? And I'm like, who's who? And there's a car pulling up, and I'm like, I don't know. So they're like going slowly, and they stop by my mailbox, not my driveway, but like by my mailbox. I'm like, who is that? He's like, get in the car. I'm like, what? He's like, get in the truck right now. So I get in the truck, and he gets in, and he shuts the door and locks the door, and he like cranks up, and we're like backing out. In this vehicle was his mother and his ex-girlfriend pulling up to my house. I don't know how she knows where I live. I don't know anything. I don't know who his ex-girlfriend is. I don't know nothing. But I just know these people pulled up in my house. So, and then his mom is like not letting us back out the driveway. So she's like going off. She's punching the window, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what in the world? So anyway, long story short, we drive off, and we're on a low tank, like we're on E, and we go to the gas station, and we realize they're behind us, and I'm like, oh no, baby, I'm calling the police. So I call the police. We go to the gas station. We go to the police station. We get to the police station. The police are already out there waiting on us. She gets out, and she's like admitting to everything she said about me, admitting to trespassing, so she goes to jail. Boom. Well, apparently me locking her up is what made this relationship bad or whatever. I don't know. Now she will never forgive me for locking her up. I don't know. So, anyways. So, we used to, like, this whole relationship, this whole, like, 5-6 months, it's been nothing but hell for Nathan and me. Because the stress she puts on me, it's like, dude, like, I'm not doing anything but being good to your son. I cook for him, I clean for him. Like, I do everything possible I can do. So, a few weeks go by. There's probably way more that I have that I just cannot say and think right now. But, yeah. So, a few weeks go by. She threatens to turn his phone off. And we're like, dude, why? So, she threatens to turn his phone off. Alright. So, we have to go get him a new phone from AT&T. So, we gotta go get him a new phone, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, then he wrecked his truck. And this is where it was like, oh my goodness. So he wrecked his truck. So we're waiting weeks on weeks on weeks for his insurance money to come in. His insurance money is with his mother. So we're waiting weeks and weeks and weeks. And his mother's like, I'm not telling you how much your insurance money is unless you take this drug test. So she thinks I'm on drugs. And she thinks I have him on drugs. Well, I'm not on drugs. And anybody who knows Gracie doesn't do drugs. So, whatever, blah, 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 blah. This lady calls my mother. My mom. Anybody who knows me also knows my mom is my best friend. So at one point in time, me and Nathan were going through like a real struggle. So my mom had bought us groceries. So my mom was just telling her that like, hey, I've been helping them out as much as possible. You know, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, good for you. I don't know. So I don't even know the reason why she called my mother. I don't know that. Anyways, so in the big part of this story is this TikTok account. Well, she says it's harassing her because I keep texting her or texting her as ex-girlfriend, but it's harassing me. This TikTok account is called blah blah blah. It's a picture of Nathan. So we found it, and the first TikTok we've ever seen was a Netflix. We have Netflix, right? And it's on his mom's Netflix. Well, the names got changed to something B word, like you are a B word or something. And in the background of, like, the screen, like, you can see in, like, the TV reflection, you can see that light. So, in, like, the reflection of the TV, you can see his mom and his ex-girlfriend. And we're like, okay, so they're besties. Well, at the time, Nathan swears that his mom and his ex-girlfriend didn't like each other when they were together. But now they're not together. Whoa, whatever. So, there's another TikTok that she posted of them two saying, I will always love y'all. Then, me and Nathan get these tattoos, 224. And whoever is on my social medias watching for her, I hope you see this. Because I'm done being quiet. I'm just done being quiet. Like, I have literally held back so much. And I'm not even mad about it. Because you're 40-something years old arguing with a 19-year-old. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just retarded. And I don't understand the issue. And mind you guys, when that night I got her locked up, I texted her a paragraph on Messenger. And I apologized for getting her locked up. And she didn't reply to me. And then she told me that we had a, what's it called, a protective order or something? No contact order. Okay, well, I had a no contact order before. And it got served to me and I had to sign that paper. Nobody told me I had a no contact order but her. She didn't even tell me. She told, what is her face? Whatever, guys. The main part, then today, she posted a TikTok, and it's a picture of his ex-girlfriend saying blah, 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 whatever. So, I'm like, I text his ex-girlfriend, and I'm like, girl, like, what's going on with you? Like, what is the issue? Okay? So, I sent her, like, boom, 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 boom. And then at the end of it, I'm like, oh, and I'm pregnant. Tell Nikki that. I was supposed to her name. So, I'll, like, tell her that. Anyways. So, I tell her I'm pregnant. I'm not pregnant, y'all. She's probably going to see this, but it's okay. I had to stir the pot some more because everybody else wants to stir the pot. So, yeah. It's really good. I'm just like, I'm done being quiet about it. Me and that man have went through so many trials and tribulations because of this whole situation. And I just don't have to be quiet, so I'm not being quiet. And the whole time, I couldn't say anything because she wouldn't give him his insurance money if I stood up for myself. And anyone who knows me knows I'm not scared to stand up for myself, but I have to stand up for myself now because now it's like you're doing everything you can to pity me. Like, you're doing everything you can to get under my skin. And like, he loves it here. I love it here. So I don't understand. Like, your son is happy. Why are you mad about your son being happy? Like, please, like, I just want to know that. Why are you mad about your son being happy? Okay, and I think this is like my last little subject thing. Okay, so onto Facebook. His mother posted something about how she loves Waffle House on Christmas. We were at Waffle House on Christmas. And then, you know, I don't know if I already said this or not. I probably did in my brain. Is the 224. She made a TikToks about 224 after we got this tatted on us. Okay, and she also posted on Facebook how she loves, or she cannot wait for her new grandbaby, right? Well, I'm like, I'm not pregnant, and his sister isn't pregnant, so who's pregnant? Well, she goes to TikTok and makes a TikTok of a baby doll. A baby doll. Like, are you kidding me? Anyways, that's the story time, guys. And yeah, it took a lot of me to just like get ready and say all this, but YOLO.
Day in hell, freshman year, this actually happened. It's Halloween. You wake up, you're excited, you're smiling. You have a party to go to that night. Your evil boyfriend tells you, don't go. You're like, I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna go have fun with my friends. He gets really mad. So you get there, you're having the best time. Boys are there, but you don't care about the boys. You're just hanging out with your best friend who's throwing the party. And you've been friends with these boys before you even met him. So you're there. You get a text. That's weird. He says that he's about to himself. So you think, this isn't good. You're also 14. You don't know that he could be manipulating you. You get really scared. You start crying. You try to call him. He answers, screams at you, hangs up. You try to call him again. He doesn't answer. You call him again. He doesn't answer. You do this about 5 times, and he doesn't answer. You're really scared. You're crying in front of everybody. Everybody's hugging you and telling you that it's okay. And all the boys are saying, just break up with him. He doesn't care about you. He's manipulating you. You don't think he's manipulating you. You think he's really upset. So then you call his best friend. His best friend answers. His best friend plays along with it. You get really, really scared. You tell your best friend's mom, who's there at the house. She says, let's just call the police. And if he's lying, then he gets in trouble with the police. So you call the police. You're like, great idea. He gets really mad that you called the police. You cry. You spend the night at best friend's house with all the other girls. You wake up the next day. Face is puffy. Nose is stuffy. You feel like shit. You wake up. It's time to go to school. You have to see him because he is constantly up your ass. And you have about 50 text messages from him when you wake up that says, you're a stupid fucking cunt. And I was not going to do that. You read my messages wrong. You're like, I didn't think I read the messages wrong. Maybe I did. So you go to school. His friends are all laughing at you for crying the night before. Aw, that's funny. Then you cry again because now you're getting bullied that you cried last night. You call your mom. Mom, I really want to come home. Mom says, I'm sorry, I'm at work. I can't come get you. You're 14. You don't have your driver's license. You keep going with your day. He's laughing at you, making fun of you, all this stuff. You decide to block him. He gets really, really angry. You keep him blocked. He keeps harassing you at school. You go home. You cry. You tell your mom everything about what just happened, and you cry some more. And he keeps messaging you. You're a stupid fucking cunt, so you decide to respond. You're still together with him.
Why would I apologize for something I did intentionally? Like, I knew it was going to hurt your feelings. That's why I did it.
Story time about the time my best friend got, as in murdered. So this was around Thanksgiving of 2022. So it's been a while, and I feel comfortable now talking about it and sharing my story. And I'm sharing this to hopefully save someone else, okay? So let's get into it. Her name's Jasmine Pace, and she went to Jason Chin's apartment, as two do when they're seeing each other. So she went to his apartment, and it was all shits and giggles. In the first couple hours that they were hanging out. She got there around 11 p.m. and then at 2 a.m. is when shit went downhill. He proceeds to stab her 60 times 60, and then stuff her lifeless body in a suitcase. Gets worse, and then decides to throw said suitcase off the side of the road into shrub. And well, he thought he was gonna get the suitcase to the water. It fortunately for the people looking for her, it got stuck in shrub, so it didn't reach the water. Texting her, calling her, like everyone's trying to get a hold of her, right? Because she doesn't show up for Thanksgiving, which is very unlike Jasmine. She was a very family-oriented person, so she doesn't show up for Thanksgiving. And I get a call from her mother, and her mother is asking me if I've heard from Jasmine, and I was like, no, like what's going on? Like, I was very confused. And cops were sent to Jason's apartment to search for Jasmine. And hold on, let me back up. Okay, so when all this was happening, when she, as in a last resort cry for help, sent her mom a pin, like dropped a pin and sent it through text message, basically just saying like, here's where I am. So her mom knew where she was. So cops went to Jason's apartment. He's nowhere to be seen. She's obviously nowhere to be found. But sure enough, her pants and her credit cards and some other belongings of hers were at his apartment. So that kind of confirmed, like,
it confirmed that she was there and they were looking in the right place. So he's gone. He's running for the hills like a coward. And they find him at his parents' residence. Am I ready to talk about this? So, cops were able to find him at his parents' house in Nolensville, Tennessee, and he was arrested and charged with homicide, first-degree homicide. While all of this was going on, and we were looking for Jasmine, I was texting her, snapping her, doing, you know, everything I could to get a hold of her, and her replies were just very unlike her. She would not call me, wouldn't just let me hear her voice. I was just begging, like, I knew something was wrong, so I was just like, please let me hear your voice. And it was him the whole time on her phone, pretending to be her. And one thing that this is when I first knew, like, something's really wrong, is when I got a Snapchat notification from her, and she had said, just give me a break, damn, I'm fine, like, give me a break. And I was like, that's not how Jasmine would ever talk to me. So I knew like something was bad wrong. I'm making this to just say, gosh, we all know that the world is scary. We live in like terrifying times right now. Keep that guard up. Keep your guard up and be very selective of who you hang out with and who you are around alone, whose place you go to hang out. Just be careful. This happens a lot. I feel like it's happening more and more, and I just be careful. Carry pepper spray, carry the fucking gun, you know? Take all the precautions. Be crazy. Be so just prepared that you seem crazy. Better than being dead, okay?
I'm your Uber driver. Get in.
I didn't order an Uber.
I'm gonna try my best to tell this story, because I get lost. I get lost on track. And I don't tell a long story short. I tell a short story long. But I'm gonna try. Me and Dylan met in high school, dated for 7-8 months, maybe a little more. He started working for my stepdad at his electric company, and then even after me and Dylan broke up, Dylan continued to work for my stepdad for about like 4 or 5 years. So we kind of kept up with each other here and there, not a lot, because we were both in separate relationships for years, and then within the past like 3 years, me and him reconnected. When me and him started hanging out again, I was going and hanging out with him and his friends. And the guy that recorded the video that blew up is Johnny, which was one of his friends. And Johnny was dating Haley at the time. Dylan and Johnny are friends. Johnny and Haley are dating. Me and Dylan are friends. First few times I hung out around them, Haley seemed like a massive bitch. And I feel like this is a common thing amongst most girls before they become friends. Like, you just think the other one's a bitch, and then you end up loving her. She just had massive RBF, and I did too. So, like, I think we just didn't even attempt talking to each other the first few times. Couldn't even tell you what it was that, like, we connected over, but after a while, we, like, started talking. And maybe, like, 2 or 3 days in, this is on me, 2 or 3 days in, she is talking to me about this relationship with Johnny and making it sound like he is just, like, a very bad person. And, you know, I believe women, so I believed Haley. So I offered to let her move in over here because I don't like seeing women stuck in situations like that. Like, you have an out, babe. And, you know, I'm new, but I have a room if you need somewhere to go. So me and Haley are instant besties. We're hanging out, doing all the summer stuff, doing free single girl shit. And Dylan would still come over to the house and hang out with us. We'd all go to the beach and do whatever. At the time, Haley and Dylan didn't really like each other. Like, we all started butting heads. And Dylan stopped coming around for a little bit. Me and Haley both ended up getting in short-term relationships. And after her short-term relationship, she ended up getting back with Johnny, which I was initially like, okay, I mean, like, if that's what you're doing, go off. And it was fine at first, and, like, we'd all hang out again, minus Dylan, because he just did not like Johnny anymore. But we'd all hang out. I thought Johnny was chill, like, it was whatever. And then they started having issues again. And I'm not trying to point the finger in any specific direction, but the side of things that I saw was her constantly egging shit on. Nobody was a saint here. Like, I'm not going to pretend anybody here was innocent. I said things I shouldn't have. I did things I shouldn't have. And so did everybody else. This other girl, April, that is also involved, still to this fucking day, her and Johnny were a thing. And there was a whole lot of back and forth between those three people, Haley, Johnny, and April. And I'm not even going to get into all those details. I just find it very interesting that Haley and April are once again sharing somebody else's boyfriend. So Haley and Johnny broke up again, I think, and then ended up getting back together a month later, maybe. And it was still all this just, like, dumb back and forth and just drama. I mean, like, I don't even know what we were doing, and I think that's why I was just, like, so fed up with it, because I stopped talking to Haley after that. Just the extent to which things would go every time they would start talking again, I just, like, could not be around it anymore, and I kicked her out. I kicked her out of my house, because I didn't want it in my house, and I just didn't want to be around it anymore, so I kicked her out. Right around when me and Haley stopped talking, me and Dylan had started hanging out again. And he took me camping, took me to dinner for my birthday, and I just kind of decided I wanted to be with him. And then, you know, that's the direction I thought it was heading in. Now I don't know, but I know that's what my intentions were, and I don't know about his anymore. I don't know. But a couple months into me and him being back together, Haley pops back up, and she wants to be friends again, and she's so sorry. I should also add that when me and her stopped talking, she shit on me in, like, the most, like, in every possible way that she could think of. She was slut-shaming me. She was telling me I was a bad friend. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I didn't do enough for her. And I was a shitty friend. And I was a whore. Like, and just to hear that from somebody that, like, I sat there and was taking those insults with a month prior, it just, like, it really crushed me. And I just, like, I can't believe that kind of behavior was coming from another woman. So she reaches back out, and I gave her the benefit of the doubt because she is 21. She's 2 years younger than me. And I mean, I know that's not a lot, but it is. Like, I know where I was at 2 years ago. So I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. And we gave it another shot at being friends. And so all three of us were all hanging out, me, her, and Dylan, all the time. And it was, you know, she was third wheeling. He was my boyfriend. Like, me and him had been together for months before I started talking to her again. I don't know if it was close confines or what it was, but after a minute, I started to get weird vibes from Haley and Dylan. And I had talked to both of them about it. And they both told me that would never happen. Okay, so I tried to let it go. Me and Haley began having issues again because she wasn't helping me out around the house. Me and her were also trying to take care of a cat together, and I just seemed to be doing all of that by myself as well. And funny enough, Dylan was also right behind me talking shit about her the whole time. How she was a slob, and she was lazy, and she didn't do this, and she didn't do that, and she just wasn't any help. And he wanted her gone more than I did. That's the most ironic part about this whole thing. The two of them hated each other. They hated each other the whole time. They hated each other. Me and Haley were constantly having issues. I kept trying to have conversations with her about what needs to be done around the house, and I just felt like I was doing more than I should have been doing. Considering there were 3 people staying here, I shouldn't have been cleaning as much as I was. Not to mention when that bitch moved in, she brought like a whole fucking mountain and a half of laundry with her, and I washed it all for her. So yeah, again, I'm an idiot. But anyway, me and Haley stopped being friends again, and it was a much more heated thing this time, but I just was done. I was done with it. With her and a drama, and it just never fucking ended. And it was always something. It was always something with Haley, and it just got so fucking exhausting, and I did not want her crowding my space anymore. I got tired of it, so I didn't even kick her out, actually. I literally just asked her if she would go stay somewhere else for the night, because I needed space. And this has been my apartment for like 4 or 5 years, and like, I just wanted her to go somewhere else for the night. And she just thought that meant that I wanted her to leave altogether. So she took it upon herself to move out. And, you know, we were still friends. We were still cool. But, you know, it was awkward and weird. And we ended up having a big falling out after her moving out. And me and Dylan were fine for months. And he was happy that she left. You know, and like I thought me and him were doing so good. And then within like the past month or so, it started off as little arguments, but then they just progressively got bigger. Like, the love was disappearing, and I could feel it, and I would bring it up, and it would just kind of be brushed off and disregarded, and like, I'm overreacting. So we ended up having a really big fight last week, and split up. It was nasty. It was ugly. I was sad for the whole fucking weekend. I literally just didn't do anything. It was raining and depressing, and I just literally sat in my house and I just thought the whole weekend. And then I decided to go over to my grandmother's house and try to do some kind of crafts or something to distract myself from the depression that was setting in. And then 2 days later, I get a message from Johnny, Haley's ex. And I figured it was going to be April. So when I clicked on that shit and I saw my ex-best friend's face sitting in his fucking truck that I was in not even fucking 5 nights ago, yeah, I was livid. I was fucking pissed and just white hot rage. So do with that information what you would like, but that's the story. Or at least most of it. I'm sure Haley will have a couple things to add, though.